So we have this general emphasis on this concept of like hybrid teams. So I once on the extreme end, I pitched it to my co-founders as I want to build a unicorn team where literally everyone can do
Hmm.
everything. And so no one's like doing anything excessively. They're just doing the things that need to be done. Of course, it's called a unicorn team because it
Sure.
doesn't exist. You can't have someone doing
Right.
that many things. But we're doing the most like we're trying to do the most realistic version of it, which is everyone has their
Hmm.
specialisms. So everyone comes in having their
Yep.
areas of expertise, but they also have some skills or strengths in the other areas. And those areas, we try and get them involved and to work in that as well. So because it eases communication. So like, some of the biggest problems I see in product teams in bigger organizations is like conflict between design team and dev team, because they even call it a design team and
Yep.
a dev team. Conflict between like product managers essentially managed enough. They don't need to manage anymore, but their job is managing, so they need to manage. And then everyone kind of getting quite annoyed that they keep butting
Yep.
in and checking in. And yeah, and like, so what we have done is try to essentially find people who have like dual skill sets. So even if it's just
Right.
within development, we'll do the same thing. Like we generally try and look for full stack. We try and look for designers
Yep.
who can code. And we just had an example of this today, actually. Our designer.
What you usually do, you usually push some small little fixes here and there, so we can count on you. But you never, I think you never really opened a PR all by yourself, have you? That was what was impressive.
No, usually I just jump in and
Yeah,
branch off what you guys are doing. But yeah, and it just makes
Yeah.
so
makes
much
sense.
sense. Like, so I don't want my developers to be I don't want to have that back and forth where Daniel pushes his code and I know he's gonna like implement the UI to
Right.
best effort. Like he will try and do what he
Hmm.
can to get it perfect. But we use this expression like designers just have laser eyes. We're a bit like nitpickety about the details. So sometimes the feedback is literally like this is two
Yes.
pixels out.
Yes.
And the dev's like, oh, I did not notice that. Like, how did you spot that? And then I had to like literally go into Figma and draw a line to show that it's 2 pixels out. And he's like, how did you spot that? And but also in that moment in time, he's like, they're kind of like, oh, does it
Right.
really matter? Like, do I need
Right.
to address this? Like, do I need to go in
Yep.
and sort this out? And then we've just wasted like, even 20 minutes kind of bickering about 2 pixels. Like the designer's viewpoint is if you let enough of these things happen, then it becomes noticeable. So in isolation, it's fine, but you let enough of these things happen, then you have a product that just you open it up and you're like, something doesn't
So,
look right.
but it just
So
takes one. It
yeah,
just takes one thing. And I want to let it go every single time. But I really do believe that, and I think it's deep seated somewhere like in our, lizard brain that like, so we assess people on the basis of symmetry, right? Like, I mean, things that are not symmetric, we like it immediately jumps out at us. And I don't know what it is about humans and why we're wired that way, but it does. And for some people, they don't notice it nearly as well. Other
yeah,
people notice it really clearly. But I think even if they don't know what it is, they know something doesn't feel right. And like, I've watched people who use products and they're like, something just doesn't feel right. And I'm like, yeah, it's because that button is 2 pixels over and it should be 2 pixels the other way. And like legitimately, you move that button and they're like, man, I don't know what you did to the system, but it's faster and it's like, and you're like, there's no way. But it's all of these like, there's just this underlying angst. And I like, and I'm in the same boat where I'm like,
yeah.
oh my gosh, you guys, I know that this sounds terrible, but you have to move that button. And yeah.
Yeah, so So we make
It
sure
does
that
it.
any designer
Yeah.
we bring in can code. And so a classic example is that today, like the developer pushed a feature, done really well, but there were all these like tiny little details that were just off. It was off. So we just created this ticket. And the designer just jumped in and fixed it all, and now it's perfect. And then and it's actually like more
Yeah.
efficient because we save the back and
Right.
forth time on bickering about these little
Right.
details. The designer can get it like
Yep.
pixel perfect, and that's their job anyway. And also for the engineer, you get them working on even
Right.
more complex
Right.
things that you really want them to spend the time on. You don't want them to be
Right.
tweaking pixels. Like that's absolutely not
Right.
what you want them to do. And the other thing that I feel is a strength here is there's a I think it's okay, this is really bad to say as a designer, but sometimes you just don't need more design. And the fact that you have a permanent designer and they're just twiddling their thumbs thinking, okay, my job is I've been hired to design, so I need to design things. I need to find problems to fix. I need to, oh, we did that. Okay, there's nothing to design. I'll do some
Yep.
user interviews and I'll identify problems that we need to address. But sometimes there just aren't. And then also if you design too much, you build a very big gap between actually implementation resource and design, in which case a lot of the designs have to be changed anyway by the time the team can get to it. So the idea is if you actually, so the great thing is when we do like design planning, we can actually have these conversations of, you know what, there's not that much like features or things we need to design that's urgent. Let's just jump into code and fix some of the smaller issues that we are already on the to-do list, which the devs can't pick up. And that's just an amazing way to use resource. And same with like PMs. If you can get PMs who can actually design or code or do other things, then they will do the minimum amount of management required. And then they'll jump on actually moving the needle forwards. And the same thing is, we make sure that we bring in developers who understand design. So, you know, it's not a surprise that Daniel said he was an architect. We also have our CTO studied design. And the amazing thing is, we like our design process, all the reviews are done, all the design reviews include the developers. And it's just amazing when you have this process because they get it. They know what the difference between like wireframes and like, you know, work in progress, but they will give like feedback on the spot on what's going to be tricky about building this in this way. And you're getting this like right at the start. And like the philosophy we have is design is cheap. Like as in not design is cheap as in, you know, but as in it's cheap to design. Like it's cheaper for me to tear down this design and redesign it in Figma with like, you know, to spend 1 or 2 days extra to do this than to, you know, tear apart code and have to rewrite everything with a new design spec.
And to be designed into a corner that now you really have to work to develop your way out of. And I mean, I've seen it so many times where I'm like, oh, this is going to take a lot of effort to design, to develop our way out of this design hole that we've created.
What's amazing though is, I mean, I actually don't know whether the thing this has changed in the design industry, but a few years back, I remember working for my previous company, and they gave us some like credits to go on like Udemy and these kind of courses to pick a course and just learn, just improve yourself. And at the time, I couldn't code at all, didn't know much about it, and I speak to the one of the head of engineering. I'm like, which language should I learn first? And then they gave some suggestions, but then there was like a debate amongst all the designers of like, do designers need to learn to code? And it was actually a debate amongst designers and engineers. So even some of the engineers were saying, like, you don't need to learn how to code. You just need to understand how it works. Like you need to understand, like, you know, the theory and the like how it all clicks together on an architectural level, but you don't need to get into the nitty-gritty details of coding. And for me, I came from a industrial design background before as well, where, you know, you design things that are actually
Right.
going to be manufactured. So you need to understand how
Right.
things are going to be made. You can't design something with, and same with Daniel, right? If you're going to design a building, you definitely need to know some civil engineering.
Yep.
So it baffled me actually, like moving into the design digital world, that there was even that you even had to have a discussion about this, that designers, whether or not designers should understand coding.
That does, yeah, yeah. I can't imagine a scenario where a designer would be worse off. I mean, aside from the and I but I so let's pretend like a designer, there will be literally no actual advantage. Just being able to like relate to a developer, just to say, oh man, you know, that like I know how to code a little bit, and the little bit that I know allows me to empathize at a totally different level. Like even if there's no actual value, which we know that there is, just the ability to empathize with one another. I mean, I think there's value in that alone. And so I'm like, where's the downside? Okay, the opportunity cost. Well, maybe, but probably not. And how many of those, the question I would have is, how many designers were really software developers that just didn't know that didn't know that their brain would adapt as quickly as it did to software development. Like I love, and I'm avoiding digging deep into it, but like Daniel's story of, I was an architect. Like I at first was like, oh, you mean like a software architect? And then I was like, oh no. He means like a building architect, like a legit architect. And I was like, how I have so many questions about how you got into doing what you're doing, because I think there is this assumption that like software development's hard, and I just won't, like, for whatever reason, I'm not going to be able to figure it out. And I think there are a lot of designers who would find the on ramp to software development far easier than they know if given the opportunity. And then we'd have a whole bunch of really great, you know, software developers who are also fantastic designers.
Yeah, I mean, I for one, like in our team, I find it quite really good, the fact that I can trust Jacky to, or Aitor, or any designer to kind of come up and help out, or like mess with the code. I'm never afraid when I see, oh shit, the designer is committing something, oh my god, we have to fix it. No, I trust it. I take a look, of course, you know, because sometimes, you know, but it's, you know, like you can trust it, and it's really helpful. It's really nice to have this understanding between us, you know.
We do have our overconfidence moments though. Yesterday I did push a commit, and I said to our one of our experienced devs, "Oh, I just changed some CSS stuff. It was pretty simple changes, so I just pushed it straight to the branch." And then he comes back an hour later and says, no, it wasn't. If so, in the future, if it can't fit in a screenshot of the changes you made, please create a new."
Yeah.
But what I love is that you have the humility to tell that story and to say, we're not all perfect, and we all screw up, and we all, yeah, that's, I mean, because everybody does it, right? Everybody's like, oh, clear, I see this problem so clearly. Oh, it's so obvious. Let me just come in here and, you know, type, and then sometimes as you're typing, you're like, oh wait, I have to, oh wait, and then you're like, okay, I'm just gonna revert back to the previous commit because I am now lost in what I was even trying to do. So it turns out it's not as easy as I thought. But
Yeah, I
yep.
mean, On that topic though, it's like when you said the humility part, that's one of the values that we have really strongly at Bird, which is really hard to protect, by the way, but we really strike like
Mm-hmm.
fight hard to protect it. And it's the ability to just give feedback, like
Yeah.
real feedback. And it could be positive, but the hardest ones is negative, like constructive feedback on things that you could improve on. It's really hard to say these things. And often it's a lot easier to not say certain things than to say it. Um, and I think at least at Bird, it's the first company I've had the pleasure of working in where I can just message someone and say, I don't think that was very good. Like I would
Mm-hmm.
suggest doing it this way next time. And then they would actually just reply,
You're
oh,
right.
thanks. Yeah,
Right. Yes.
really appreciate that. Rather than it blowing up. And it's like it's very special to have an environment that way. But it's
It
delicate though.
is, and I think the key factor, and I don't remember where I heard this, um, but the key part is you're it's not it's not it's not you being right or wrong. Boy, there are two different things. There's an analogy. Ego is who's right. Truth is about what's right. I think that was what it is. Um, but but when you get away from it being an ego contest of like, oh, Jacky said this, and like, and it being this who's right thing, well, is he right or am I right, and now my feelings are hurt, and it's an ego thing, versus no, we are we're co-laborers in the truth. Like, we're just gonna find the truth, and the truth is the truth. Like, the facts are the facts. You can't, I'm uninterested in debating these things because this is the reality. And so once people understand that, oh, this isn't a you versus me thing, then I think it becomes a lot easier. The other thing is you have a higher authority, and the higher authority is that you actually want to serve the users of Bird. Like, and that's one of our values, is we basically were of service to one another. And when I walk around thinking, how do I serve you guys, then all of the other questions become way easier. Like, then I don't have to debate all sorts of other things. And when I walk around saying I'm here to serve clients, then and we truly instill that in everyone, then it's like, oh wait, if I'm here to serve them, like, all the decisions get way easier. And you don't have to debate what's the right thing or the wrong thing. It just gets a lot easier. And I think that's the same thing, like, that you guys are experiencing. Yeah, we have a higher authority, and that higher authority is the users that love Bird. And yeah, so I'm not giving you feedback because I think you're wrong. I'm giving you feedback because I have a responsibility to all these people who've entrusted us
Mm.
with building a product that is amazing. And when that's your approach, all the feedback gets so much easier.